Hello, welcome back to the Football Terrace. Thank you very much for tuning in today. Hope you're all well. Hope you're all having wonderful, just enjoying the nice weather. Getting ready for the last 3 or 4 days now of the Premier League season. And, we waited 3 months for it to return after lockdown. And I have to say, it's been a brilliant month or so of games, trials, tribulations, ups and downs. It's been amazing. And we go into the last couple of games now in the top 4 race. Of course, Liverpool will be crowned champions this evening. We already know they're champions, but they'll actually get their trophy. They'll get their crown. Relegation is going to be decided on Sunday as well. And they'll be moving to the European competitions. But as of Monday, the transfer window opens. And although a lot of the journalists have tried to play down this being a big window, it is going to be massive. Especially with financial fair play. One, being relaxed by UEFA. And secondly, all but being dead after their botched attempt to ban Manchester City. So from my point of view, I'm very, very excited come Monday. We've already seen Chelsea making massive waves. City, we're going to keep you very close and updated on them. We spoke about Nathan Ake tomorrow. They are going to start to be linked to multiple players from Monday. You're going to see they are going to break some serious records this summer. I'm absolutely convinced. And Liverpool are going to spend big money as well. Don't sleep on that. Liverpool will spend over £120 million this summer on players. I am pretty sure of it. It's taking a bit of time, and I think what will kickstart Liverpool is other clubs doing it, if that makes sense. I think they'll almost be in a position where they can't rest on their laurels. And also, Liverpool are going to be able to raise quite a bit of money. And when I say spend, they're not going to spend a direct amount of money. It will be paid via instalments, as we know. But we're here to talk Manchester United. And before we go any further, please hit the like button. Please hit the share button as well. This afternoon, though, we have got some massive Kai Havertz news. And it's going to be an exclusive to this channel that nobody else has got. I've been sent some information this morning from a very reliable source. We'll delve into that a little bit later on today. So we're going to focus on Man United right here and right now, though. Please, as I say, hit that like and share button. 500 people watching right now. Let's get this to over 500 likes. That would be absolutely amazing. So, in terms of Man United, they're looking to make 4 major signings this summer. So forget any young players of 16, 17 years old we sign, or any kind of, we might sign a new reserve goalkeeper, something like that. That's all cannon fodder. That isn't the main target. It's 4 players are what United are targeting. 2 of them we know quite well. Jack Grealish, Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho update. Big up Mark Goldbridge and the United stand for their brilliant interview yesterday with Christian from FC Bayern and Blin and all the other publications that he works for and does sort of either interviews for or publication work for. Jadon Sancho to Man United it's all but a foregone conclusion. Still, the finer details of the fee and the payment structure need to be made up. But essentially, 80 million plus some add-ons is going to get it done. Those add-ons will equate to 90 to 95 million, maybe push towards that £100 million mark. As of Monday, you will see that accelerate with some great speed. Man United are in the driving seat. Jadon Sancho is desperate to come to Manchester United. Champions League football. By the way, if you believe Champions League football is an important factor and it's the only way we get him, that's fine because United are making it now anyway. That deal is going to be done. That deal is going to be done for me massively. Jack Grealish. I see a comment here from Sean who says, Terry, on AFTV they were saying they need a player like Jack Grealish. Saying they need a player like Jack Grealish like he would be a downgrade and ruin his career. Listen, Jack Grealish walks into that Arsenal team every single day of the week, twice on a Sunday. He really does. He's better than every single midfielder they've got. He really is. And, you can play Aubameyang through the middle in his strongest position and stick him out on that left-hand side or play him play him in the kind of creative role. He's definitely better than Willock. He's definitely better than Nelson. No doubt about it. But there we go. Jeremy Rogers, right. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Going to clip that foregone conclusion comment about Sancho. Why would he join a dead food club with a dead manager? Well, that's just your opinion. But, the fact that Pogba's going to sign a new deal and Jadon Sancho is going to sign, That's all the confirmation I need that we're not a dead club. In terms of all the other facts I'm taking into consideration, the way we've improved, the way we're playing, the fact Bruno signed, the fact that we've clawed back a 14-point gap on third place, and that's where we're going to finish this season. The fact that Ollie's never lost a dressing room, that we're making football minds and now making football decisions at the football club. This chair just went back. I thought I was going to fall in the pool. Just shit myself a little bit. So there we go, but thank you for the comment. Jackie Grealish, though, Man United have made some inroads and made inquiries into him in January. What's really interesting is from January until now, he's not been as good a player. And it's interesting, that's when he found out Man United were looking at him. And it's why you've seen why Dortmund didn't want to, Villa not want to do negotiations. Dortmund didn't want to talk to Man United prior to their lockdown, prior to their title race being over. It can unsettle an individual to be linked with moves away to other clubs. And I think that has happened to Jack Grealish somewhat. But he's a big Man United target and he's someone that they're going to go for. His price, though, and again, another reason why that deal hasn't been able to... A lot of people are moaning that we haven't got things locked down like Chelsea have. Remember, the Ziyech deal was a late deal. They tried to get that done in January. They got it done early for this year, but it was late from when they really wanted it. They had the situation with Werner, easier to get done because there's a buyout clause. RB couldn't really stop it. When you look at the Grealish situation, as if they're going to sit down and negotiate the sale of their best player when they're fighting relegation. Never, ever, ever going to happen. Same with Dortmund. But also with the Sancho situation and the Dortmund situation, it's very much like the Kai Havertz thing with Chelsea. Champions League qualification in United's part and relegation from Villa's part are key factors. And what I mean by that is, when you look at the fact that Grealish will become a cheaper option for Man United if Villa are relegated, and if they're leading the race for him, why pay over the odds now? It doesn't make any sense. Equally, the same can be said about Man United and Chelsea. If either of our two teams miss out on the Champions League, which is plausible at this point mathematically anyway, it means we'll probably pay less to sign Kai Havertz and Jadon Sancho because we have less money coming in. The sellers, the vendors will want more money because we're earning more money because we're in the Champions League. It's pretty basic, really. The other two deals that are interesting is defensively, because we're linked today with a £65 million move for Koulibaly, and we have been linked with a move to Ake. The Ake link may only have come about because of what Ollie said to him after the game against Bournemouth a few weeks ago. But I think defensively is an area we need to look at. I thought about this long and hard, and I was obviously very emotional about the David De Gea situation the other day, and I've kind of decided to myself that actually I'd either give De Gea another year, and if not that, I'd rather give Dean Henderson a chance than drop £80 million, on a new goalkeeper. And my thought process is this. The expectation isn't to win the league next year. It's to go a lot closer to it and push for it. If Henderson comes in and makes as many mistakes as David De Gea, I don't think it will cost us top four, because we'll be better defensively, better in midfield, better up front, and have more strength in depth. So I still think we'll equate 20 extra points next season if we keep Pogba and sign some good quality defenders, Grealish and Sancho, as examples. So I'm willing to give Henderson that opportunity to play. But that's why we then need to focus on defence. If you can pick up Koulibaly for £65 million, you get it done. Now, you may not get him, but an equivalent of. If we can go out and sign another top-level centre-back to sit next to Harry Maguire, and then even maybe a Nathan Ake as a backup to that. So suddenly your main three centre-backs are Ake, Koulibaly, Upamecano, Milan, I want to pronounce it right, Skriniar. Any of those three guys as next to Maguire, and Man United are moving. Man United are moving levels next season if and when they do that, in my very humble opinion. And for me, that's the element that I think that I want to focus on. Because if you stick Koulibaly next to Maguire, as an example, you put Grealish in as the backup to a couple of roles in midfield and in the attacking positions, and if you throw Sancho out onto that right-hand side, the strength in depth had improved massively, and Man United are moving forward. A couple of super chats here we're going to delve into. That sun is beautiful on my head, I tell you now. Sancho's current contract is ludicrous. There's no way Dortmund are keeping him if he wants to leave. And Terry, what goalkeeper do you think Chelsea should sign? Well, you've got to go. I mean, there's two options for me when I look at Chelsea. I think you go all out for someone like an Oblak and go big and bold. I also feel like we shouldn't sleep on Nick Pope. I think Nick Pope is a really good goalkeeper, both of his feet and actually between the sticks. And I think he'd be a good option as well for you. But anybody's better than old Kit Kat fingers. Another super chat here from Ben. He says, can't see United spending 250 million this summer, Terry. But it wouldn't be 250 million pound this summer. That's not how it works. And what you've got to remember, if Man United get this summer's transfers as if we get them as good as we did them last year, in terms of, yeah, you could argue Dan James has petered out towards the end of the season, but I think he's been successful for the cost of his player of his age in this market. Wan-Bissaka has been an overall success. Maguire's been an overall success. Our defence has improved by 38% across the majority of metrics, which is amazing. Amazing growth. Bruno's been absolutely a sensational signing. And then you've got, of course, Ighalo, who, Ighalo would have played, I'm actually surprised he hasn't played more minutes in this current run that we've been on. But Ighalo's been very good for what we brought him in for as well. So if we sign 4 major signings this summer and they're successful, it doesn't matter if it costs you 250 million, because it means the following summer we're not going to spend anywhere near as much money. The reason why United have annoyed me so much since Fergie up until this summer just gone is every summer we had to spend big because the majority of players we signed the previous year failed. If you have 2 solid summers of buying years of buying 3 or 4 players who come in and genuinely improve your squad, suddenly you're talking about 8 or 9 players, plus the academy individuals, plus the people that were already here. You've built a squad, and you don't need to move forward. And in terms of it being 250 million, you're looking at about 90 million for Jadon Sancho, 65 million for Koulibaly. So that's putting you in sort of the 150 area. It's going to be 45-50 million for Sancho for Grealish, which puts you near the 200 million mark. 20 or 25 million for Nathan Ake. So, okay, you could be looking at between 210 and 220. However, divide that between 5. That's how much you're paying in your first year. So for me, United could do it. And you also got to remember that if we get rid of the fringe players and the deadwood that we don't want, you are raising in sale price about £50 million, plus you're saving around £52 to £53 million a year in salaries. So you're freeing up, you're bringing in 50 odd million in income, and then you're freeing up over £100 million. That covers your first 2-year costs of these individual players in terms of transfer fees. So from a financial standpoint, it is very, very doable indeed. Very doable indeed. Very doable indeed. By the way, nearly 1,000 people tuning in. Please hit the like button. Please hit the share button as well. Very important to the channel that you get that done. Gaming Engine says, if Villa didn't... Oh, as I say, Villa... My screen just went really... It lost all its brightness. I'm not sure why. I don't know how to fix that. That's because the sun's shining on it, so it's gone all dull. So we'll try and find that comment, bro. Indiana says, do you think Bruno's add-ons... Do we think Bruno's add-ons and not selling Sancho will impact us in the transfer? No. Because we've already made... Bruno's add-ons we've already made provisions for. So there's no problem in relation to them. United will already have segregated that money. That money will be sitting in some sort of ring-fenced, safeguarded account internally, knowing that they're going to have to pay that at some point. They knew how good he was. They knew that they would. He was brought in to get us into the Champions League. So some of these add-ons are going to come in because if we make Champions League football, but the extra money that Champions League football is going to generate, not just from the television money, but from sponsors. So I was talking to a financial guy last night who told me that Arsenal fans should want the club to be in the Europa League because a lot of Arsenal sponsors will have clauses in them that mean there'll be a reduction even if they're not in the Europa League. Because, of course, the Europa League gives sponsors access to a wider European market. And that's why these companies pay such lucrative sums of money to these Premier League clubs, because it's the global reach your brand has. And when Arsenal are playing clubs in various parts of Europe, suddenly those brands are broadcast to those audiences. So if you're not in those competitions, it reduces. So Man United's income will increase dramatically, 60, 70, 80 million pounds by making the Champions League. Those costs will be offset against that. So there is no real issue. United know what they signed up for. Remember, we have over £250 million of cash available to us as a football club. Some of that, actually, it's a little bit less now because we just paid off the remainder. We also paid off the remainder of, paid off early the remainder of AWB's deal so that there's actually more free cash each month to buy new players. So I wouldn't be worried about that at all. Terry, what time are you doing the Kai Havertz video? That'd be mid-afternoon, people. Terry, what do you make of the news today that Ed Woodward is stalling on the Sancho deal? Like I've said before, I don't think United will sign him. I'm not worried about any of that, mate. It's really not a concern for me. I don't think it's a fact. It's negotiations. You remember, right? Chelsea were trying to sign Timo Werner since March, and it took them 3 months with a buyout clause. These things are very rarely done with a click of some fingers. There is so many complications, if buts and maybes. There won't be an official bid that goes in until after the Champions League, because we will be in a situation where we will want to pay less if we don't make the Champions League because their income's going to be lower. Vice versa, if we're in the Champions League, Jadon Sancho as a player will hopefully earn us more money. And secondly, the commercial element of Sancho being in the Champions League, wearing branded Man United clothing with sponsors behind him, will generate us more money. Dortmund want their cut. Ben here says, so want to follow Liverpool's model almost. So you want to follow Liverpool's model almost. Explain to me what you mean by that, bro, and I'll answer it. But I don't know what that means. I don't get it. Let's do some more of these comments here. AK says, all Deadwood players, Jones, Rojo, Smalling, Lingard, Pereira, Sanchez, Mata, too injury prone, Bade, a lot. I mean, yeah, you get rid of all those players. I mean, I don't know if all those players all leave in one summer, but if you got rid of the vast majority of them, you're raising 50 plus million in sales. You're saving over £50 million a year in salaries. It's a hell of a lot of money. You know, 200. Even if it costs us £250 million on the 4 players I mentioned, divide that by 5 years. It's not that much a year. It's £50 million a year this year in transfer fees we'd have to make in terms of physical cash leaving the organisation. And the fact that we're going to be in the Champions League, that's an extra £70-80 million of income, point blank. So if we make the Champions League, you've got £70-80 million additional coming in, plus the sale and the savings in salaries of those players. You're talking about income at nearly £200 million additional coming into Manchester United. Additional. From what our forecasts already tell us from the commercial activities that we have in play. And then, if those signings are successful, which I believe they will be based on the current quality of signings made by Ollie and his team, the following summer we're not going to need to sign as much, we're not going to need to spend as much. Meaning you spread the 2 years of Ollie over, and that's what we want to get to. And that's when I look at Liverpool, when you look at these teams, there's no issue with spending £400 million over a 2-year period. If then for the following 3 or 4 years, you're only spending 150 million over that time period, topping up the squad here and there, fine-tuning here and there. And Man United have an advantage. Our average age of our stars is still so young. You know, so many of our players are 22, 23, 24, 25, meaning they've got 5, 6, 7 years at peak level. You look at Liverpool, they spent their big money a couple of years ago, but their players are now hitting 29, 30. In another year or so, they're going to have to start spending again because those players will be coming to the end of their elite competitive careers. Some might go on to 33, 34 and still be brilliant. I think Van Dijk will be able to do that. But United are in a really good position, so don't worry about the money. We have it. And also, if you're picking up Koulibaly for 65 million, as an example, Ake for 25, Grealish for 40, Sancho for 90, that's all significantly cheaper and lower than we would have done it pre the global pandemic. Or much, much cheaper. And trust me, the clubs, fans are going to be back by October, you know. And even then, the club are going to introduce more ways of making money. They really will. And by the way, the Koulibaly and the Ake things, I'm just using them as examples. It's actually not a pool chair, this. It's a deck chair. My pool chairs are over there put away because I've tied it up. Put the cover on yesterday on the pool and whatnot. I might get it out a bit later. But I'm very busy at the minute, so that's hard. Terry, if Chelsea get fast, we could be fighting for top 4 spot. We need more signings ASAP. If you gel, listen, mate, if Chelsea gel fast, you're going to be fighting for the title next year. If you sign a centre-back and a left-back and land Havertz and you gel quickly, you could win the Premier League next year, Chelsea fans. Don't get that twisted. You literally could do that. Liverpool don't really have amazing squad depth. When Minamino comes on for Salah, there is a big drop-off. However, they fit the system. When Andreas comes on for us, there is a massive drop-off. Well, that's because Minamino is better than Andreas, and what we haven't really seen a lot of since the restart, we haven't just seen 1 or 2 subs. So I think if we're playing well and we're 2-0 up, and you take off Bruno and bring on Pereira, there isn't a massive difference in the team. What we have seen, though, is us take off Pogba, Pereira, Rashford, Martial all at the same time. So what you end up having is great for the big teams because you've got these fresh legs coming on, but you also get an element of pre-season in that where you're changing so much of the team and system, things can become a little bit disjointed at the same time. So both those things have to be taken into consideration. And I know they want to keep 5 substitutions for next year, but I think you'll see less games where all 5 are made. I really do. What was the deal with Ghostwriter in his tier system? I don't know, bro. I don't know, really. This is what happens a lot when football fans debate things. I have a different thought process to you, and then we start debating my outcomes versus your outcomes, but the experiment isn't the same. Do you get where I'm coming from? So if I have a 4-tiered system for all the teams in the Premier League, but he has a 2-tier or a 3-tier, we can't debate the outcomes of that because we're not working off the same platform. You know, for us to debate who should go into what tier, we have to agree to the tiering system and then what we consider each tier is made up of. It's a bit like the world-class debate. It's a bit like we created on the Football Terrace the greatest channel. Yes, this is my back garden. Yes, thank you. Like on the Football Terrace where we created the greatest Premier League team. We debated with Liverpool and Arsenal, Chelsea fans, yourselves live, and we created a metrics to, top 4 finishes, second place, get into finals, winning trophies. The majority of achievements would generate points for you. We negotiated the points, we created a system, and now we just run that system, and that gives us a pecking order. Otherwise, it just becomes, we're better for all these 10 reasons, and I might think of another 10 reasons why you're not. And it's a nice little argument, but you don't get anywhere with it. It don't create anything. Let's debate the metric, not the individual teams. It's a lot easier. Otherwise, you just go around in circles. Hi, Ian Duller and FC fans watching this. I appreciate that, bro. Thank you. By the way, everyone tuning in, please hit the like button. Honestly, there's 853 of you watching. If you all hit that like button right now, get this video trending. And I know some of you watching don't like me, which is strange, but just all hit that button. I really want to see, because I've had some debates with YouTube recently. I've asked them about how do you actually get a video trending. Because the other day we had a video that did like 30,000 views in the first couple of hours, had loads of likes. The like to dislike ratio is at 97%, and it didn't make it onto trending. And then I had a friend of mine, we were chatting, and he goes, I had a video trending, and I had half that. And I'm like, I don't get it. So we're trying to do some experiments with them, but the more of you that hit those like buttons quickly, the more chance we've got of getting on the trending page. And that's where we want to move forward to as a channel. So I just need you all to hit that. Thank you, Oscar. I appreciate that. Tarkowski and Pope should be targets by big clubs. See, I think Tarkowski would be a good backup defender. And maybe even more. Pope. Do you know what? If Man United announced we were signing Pope, the only thing I'd be gutted about is Henderson, because I think Henderson's a good quality player. But for me, yeah, I'd be more than happy with that. More than happy. It gives you money when you get likes. No. The amount of views you get, the amount of likes you get, well, see, the amount of views you get does to an extent, but it's based on advertising. And in fairness, you're not in any control of that. A video being liked, it doesn't generate anything for you. All it does is it enables YouTube to push you further up the algorithm so more people get presented with your video. So the point I make is, if you support the Football Terrace, this is where the like button's probably a wrong suggestion. It's a case of, you may not agree with what I'm saying, but I know you support the platform. So even if I watch a video on a platform that I disagree with, I like it because that will then push it to a lot of you people, like you guys, because you will follow me. It's a bit like retweeting something. I don't always retweet a tweet because I endorse it. I retweet it because I want to see opinions on it. And I think that's what's important. And some of the other channels, what they have over us as a genuine advantage is more of their viewers hit the like and share button than mine do. I think we only average about 11% of our viewers actually hit the like button. Now, our like to dislike ratio is great. It's over 90%, which is where you want to be. But what I would love is for it to stay at that level, but for every video to get 800, 1,000, 2,000 likes. We have videos that do like 60,000 views. We should be getting 2,000, 3,000 likes on that, especially from our subscribers. Thank you guys for all doing that for me. It means a lot. How are Arsenal going to get back to the top four next season with Liverpool, City and United and Chelsea all in the top four? Do you know, I said it last night, Ian. Someone asked me whether I think Arsenal could get relegated. No. But I think it's almost impossible for Arsenal to get back into the top four over the next 3 or 4 years. In the sense of, it isn't just Man United, Chelsea, City, Liverpool. You've also got this situation where... How do I put this? And say it respectfully? With the way Leicester, Tottenham, Wolves, and dare I say Newcastle. By the way, I think you can leap, Burnley being in front of you right now and Sheffield United, you'll get back in front of them. That's fine. But Newcastle, Leicester, Wolves, Tottenham, those 4 clubs right now are in front of Arsenal. So you've got to get past them before you get yourself back into this top 4. And with Newcastle going to spend big, with Leicester being a solid team now that play decent football, if they sign some good players in the summer, with Tottenham will come again, I think. It might just take them time to lose Jose, but they're there or thereabouts. I still think they're better than Arsenal overall. And with Wolves doing what they do, it's going to be a very difficult task. Very difficult task for Arsenal to get there. And for me now, I think as we go into next season, there's a top 4. I think you might see next season break up and there'll be a top 4 and then the secondary top 4 that make up the top 8. And the top 8 are going to have good teams in it that are capable of beating the top 4 teams. But over the course of the season, I think next year you'll find a gap. Depending on summer transfer markets, you could see a gap of 10, 11, 12 points between 4th and 5th as we go into next season. That's just my view. Yeah, tonight's watch along will start about 5 o'clock for the Man United game. We'll do a small match reaction afterwards, and then there'll be a full match reaction after Liverpool versus Chelsea for viewers to come on and comment about all of today's games. Because tonight's matches are going to give us a real idea of how the season's going to end. And my fervent belief tonight is we will beat West Ham 4-0, and I think Liverpool will beat Chelsea. We'll be sitting in 3rd place, and it's going to look amazing and feel amazing, because then the 5th place jokes stop. I hope Villa don't get relegated. Then we can get VDB for cheaper as compared to Grealish. Who's Van der Beek. Okay, I hear what you're saying there. Sancho hasn't even played 100 games in total. Why will he cost 100 million is beyond me. Because of everything he has achieved in those 100 odd... Oh, sorry, I had a wasp land on me. In those 100 odd games, I'm petrified of him. Petrified. But there we go. Newcastle will not transform into a top team next season. No, but over the course of time they will, and they'll spend big money doing it, especially if financial fair play is gone. It's as simple as that. Do me a big favour again. We're about to end this stream now. Do me a big favour. Please hit that like button. Sitting now nearly 400 likes. It'd be amazing if you guys could do that. Appreciate you all tuning in as always. But until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again soon. Bye-bye.